or have another print disability which makes reading, holding a book, or turning a page difficult or impossible. The content is copyrighted by the respective publishers. For more information, please visit us on the web at nfradioreading.org.
Good morning. Hi, this is Fran McNamara, and for the next hour, I'll be reading from the December 10th through 25th issue of Buffalo Business First on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. Okay, let's get right to it. Okay, it looks like a cover, Buffalo Business First cover. It's the Erie Basin Marina for sure. It's the apartments down there and the docks put in by Buffalo's own Great Lakes Dredge and Dock Company years and years ago, back in the 70s. And it says year-end real estate, higher and higher. Must-know deals. Erie County's most notable sales of 2025 range from retail to landmark, and that's Jacob Tierney on page 2. Million-dollar homes, Lee and Bunny, Northtown suburb leads the way as local luxury residential market sets yet another record. And finally, oh my gosh, 2,848 transactions. We've got details on all the deals valued at $400,000 or more that closed in the last 12 months, and that will be Sarah Paulson Meehan on page 14. So we leave this serene picture of the beautiful luxury apartments down by the Erie Basin Marina on page 1, and we go to page 2. And actually pages 2 and 3 are a double spread, and it says the 10 most significant Erie County real estate deals of 2025. Okay, so special report, year-end real estate, page 2, here we go. This is by Jacob Tierney. There's a lot more to these sales than an extravagantly high price tag. Real estate sales are more than just money and property changing hands. There's a visible record of change as new players enter Western New York, old players step away, and new projects reshape local communities. Here's a look at some of Erie County's most impactful real estate deals from 2025. While sale price was a factor in determining which projects made this list, it wasn't the only one. The list also highlights sales of particularly notable properties and deals that herald expected major developments. Okay, so the first one was listed. It's GNI IX sales. Various addresses, dates, prices, and parties. Why it matters. Well, a partnership that once owned numerous high-profile retail properties has now shed almost all of its Western New York portfolio. GNI IX is a partnership between DRA Advisors of New York City and DLC Management of Elmsford. In 2016, the partnership acquired 16 retail properties in New York and Alabama, many in the Buffalo area, from seller DDR Corp for $390 million. Over the last few years, the partnership has been selling most of its Western New York properties, and that continued into 2025. In January, the partnership sold the Williamsville Place Plaza at 5395 and 5491 Sheridan Drive, Williamsville, for $19.7 million. The buyer was an affiliate of Cleveland-based Chase Properties. In September, GNI IX sold the Regal Elmwood Center movie theater property at 2001 Elmwood Avenue to a locally registered LLC for $3.5 million. I'm sorry, that's $3.1 million. The building is expected to remain a Regal Theater under the new ownership. So then in October, the partnership sold the Gordon Restaurant Market Store next door to the theater at 1963 Elmwood Avenue in Buffalo. The sale price was $5 million, and the buyer was an affiliate of Gordon Restaurant Market's parent company. According to DLC Management's website, the only local property still managed by that company is Premier Place at 7864 Transit Road in Williamsville. Okay, next we have, and it's a pictured set of three buildings next to each other on West Huron, and it's called 75 West Huron Street. And of course, the address is 75 West Huron Street, Buffalo. The date was September 26th, and the sale price, $32.3 million. The buyer was 75 Huron Fee, F-E-E, LLC. The seller was Emerson Huron, LLC. And why does this matter? Well, it's a landmark building in a high-profile location that recently underwent a massive adaptive reuse project. Once a stable, then a parking garage, now a culinary school, the historic 6-story building in downtown Buffalo has had an eventful history. Now it has a new landlord, but the Buffalo School of Culinary Arts and Hospitality Management is expected to remain in the building for the foreseeable future. The buyer is an affiliate of Manhattan-based Mercer Street Partners. The seller is a partnership between McGuire Development, James Yerge, and the late Mark Croce. The partnership converted the long-vacant parking garage into an academic facility, a $35 million project that was completed in 2019. Okay, next we have Costco property. The address, 4230 Ridgely Road in Amherst. The date, August 6th. The sale price, $6 million. The buyer, Costco Wholesale Corp., and the seller was R-I-D, Ridley, L-E-A, Ridley Associates, LLC. Why it matters. The planned Costco in Amherst is one of the most watched retail developments in Western New York. It moved one step closer to reality in August when the wholesale giant purchased 16.6 acres from a Benderson Development affiliate. Plans for the region's first Costco have been pending since at least 2022. No opening date has been set, but construction began recently. Okay, the next one is Town Gardens Apartments, and the address is 161 Hickory Street in Buffalo. The date, March 10th. The sale price, $21.8 million. The buyer, Town Gardens South Housing Development Fund Corporation. The seller, MF Blue Valley Apartments, LLC. Why it matters. A developer with a growing interest in Buffalo is planning a major affordable housing project on that site. A partnership between Brooklyn developer BFC Partners and St. John Baptist Church purchased the 360-unit Town Gardens affordable housing community out of foreclosure. The team plans to renovate the existing apartments, but that's just the start of their plans. BFC in 2024 bought the Town Gardens retail plaza next door by the apartment complex for $1.35 million. The developer plans to knock down the plaza to build a 7-story mixed-use building with an additional 309 affordable apartments. The total cost of the renovations and new construction is expected to be more than $200 million. It's one of the several local projects planned by BFC, which aims to add affordable apartments to its portfolio. Okay, next we have Woodland Hills. The address, unnumbered parcels at the corner of Harris Hill and Griner Roads in Clarence. The date is March 14th. The sale price, $5.34 million. The buyer is Marano Mark Equity Corp. The seller, Simato Enterprises. Why it matters. The sale clears the way for a subdivision 25 years in the making. Simato Enterprises and the Marano Mark Equity Corp. Are frequent collaborators. The former buys vacant land, builds roads and infrastructure, and then sells it to the latter, which builds homes in the property. The land at the corner of Harris Hill and Griner Roads in Clarence will become the 30-unit first phase of the new Woodland Hills subdivision. A planned second phase includes an additional 48 lots on a separate parcel that was not included with this deal. Samato acquired the property in the 1990s and attempted in fits and starts to get town approval over the last 2 decades. The town at last has approved a subdivision in 2023. Okay, the next one has impacted quite a few of our listeners. Rite Aid sales, various addresses, dates, prices, and parties. Why it matters. The closure of the massive pharmacy chain earlier this year has left vacant nearly 70 stores on high-traffic intersections in Erie, Niagara, Cattaraugus, and Chautauqua counties. Rite Aid only owned a handful of its stores, leasing most of them from third-party owners, many of whom are now looking to sell after the once prized tenant shut down. Some of these stores have already found new owners. In Buffalo, small grocers have been snapping up former Rite Aid locations. Local stores sold so far include, okay, here's the first. 2474 Bailey Avenue in Buffalo sold in April for $1.75 million to local grocer Abdullah Tony Ahmed. 350 Niagara Street, Buffalo, sold in August for $1.6 million to local buyer Adnan Ahmed. 2175 South Park Avenue, Buffalo, sold in August for $1.78 million, also to Adnan Ahmed. 3071 South Park Avenue in Lackawanna sold in October for $1.5 million to a local group that plans to turn it into a grocery store. Okay, and then 1220 East Lovejoy Street, Buffalo, sold to Lovejoy Commercial Group of Miami for $650,000. Okay, next we have Pillar real estate transactions, and these are at various addresses, dates, parties, and prices. Why it matters? Well, Pillar Real Estate is making major moves with a series of big-ticket apartment transactions shaking up the suburban multifamily landscape. In October, affiliates of Lancaster-based Pillar Real Estate sold a portfolio of more than 100 properties with more than 340 apartment units to a pair of LLCs registered in Lakewood, New Jersey, in a $32 million deal. Then in November, Pillar bought 4 apartment communities from affiliates of Orchard Park-based E.F. Burke Realty Company. The 4 deals had a combined price tag of $66.5 million. Now these include Birchwood Square at 510 Center Road, West Seneca. Secondly, Camelot Village Apartments, 3400 McKinley Parkway in Blaisdell. Then Coachlight Village Apartments, 3300 McKinley Parkway, Blaisdell. And finally, Sunset Court Apartments, 5570 Camp Road in Hamburg. Pillar president Michael Larigo said he wanted to realign his company's portfolio, selling off the smaller 2- and 4-unit Cheektowaga buildings for larger apartment communities. The company now has 2,000 units in Western New York and Erie, Pennsylvania. Okay, next we have the former Buffalo News Building in downtown Buffalo at 125 Washington Street. The date, October 10th. The sale price was $10 million. The buyer was Jamal's News, LLC. The seller was Golizano Business COE, Incorporated. Why it matters. It's a prominent local building sold from one magnet to another with significant new development planned. Developer Douglas Jamal owned the former Buffalo News Building for just over a year before selling it to Golizano Institute for Business and Entrepreneurship, the school backed by billionaire B. Thomas Golizano. The Institute plans to open, There we go. The Institute plans to open in the building in fall 2026, offering low-cost certificate programs in business and entrepreneurship. The Buffalo News in 2022 announced plans to sell its longtime headquarters building and move to leased space in Larkinville. The News has been poised to sell the building to Uniland for $9.05 million, but Uniland called off the deal in early 2023. So Jamal bought the building in 2024 for $5.2 million. That price included the neighborhood parking lot, which he still owns, as it was not included in the sale to the Golizano Institute. Okay, now the next one is in Grand Island. Heron Point Apartments, 100 Archer Parkway and 101 Heron Point Parkway in Grand Island, and the date was just recently, November 24th. Sale price, $80.5 million. The buyers, HNRPT DE LLC and HRNPT DE2 LLC. The seller was Heron Point Apartments. Why it matters. It's the biggest single Erie County property sale of the year, with a price tag more than double that of the runner-up. So remember, the sale price, $80.5 million. In terms of purchase price, no other 2025 Erie County real estate deal came close to the sale of Heron Point Apartments, a 345-unit luxury apartment complex. The seller was local developer Anthony Cutella, who led the construction of the complex between the years of 2016 and 2021. The buyers are affiliated with AJH Management, a New Jersey-based firm. And finally, in this long list of the top real estate deals, we conclude page 4 here with DECK, D-E-C-K, Decorators Industrial Building at 300 Commerce Drive. The date was April 3rd, the sale price $6.75 million. The buyer was UFP Real Estate LLC, and the seller was Lackawanna Realty, LLC. Why it matters? Well, the buyer plans to reactivate a long vacant industrial building, creating dozens of new jobs. Michigan-based Decorators intends to spend $77.2 million to turn a vacant 168,310 square foot industrial building into a new decking material manufacturer. The project is expected to create 50 jobs and will receive up to $1.8 million in tax breaks from the Erie County Industrial Development Agency. Finally, the plant was originally a fiberboard manufacturing facility. It's had several other occupants over the years, but it has been largely vacant for much of the recent past. So there, under real estate special report, Jacob Tierney presented us with some incredible real estate deals, keeping alive Erie County in so many unique ways. So that's the end of page 4, and page 5 is a commercial. And while I have the chance, and of course I have the chance, I'd like to remind you you're listening to a reading of articles and features from Buffalo Business First on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. My little mouse here is not cooperating. Okay, there you go. Now it's my little mouse is behaving now. Okay, now we turn to the residential area here on page 6, and Leanne Bunny is the writer of Erie County's $1 million plus home sales. The price per square foot shakes up the rankings. Okay, and there's a beautiful picture. I'm sorry, I'm getting the hiccups. 3,618 Eckert Road in Eden sold this year for $1.5 million, or about $429.55 per square foot. And it's a beautiful aerial view. It looks like a drone view of this home in Eden. Okay, Leanne Bunny writes, Erie County's luxury residential real estate market set a record in 2025. The county had $92 million residential transactions between January 1st and November 30th, barreling ahead of 2024's then record-breaking 82. Okay, that's $82 million residential transactions. Clarence, with 27, tops the list of most popular local settings for high-end home deals. Buffalo comes in second at 18, with Amherst and Orchard Park tied for third with 17. Business First tracks high-end home sales as a way to gauge where the local housing market is hottest. The local luxury market has seen significant growth over the last several years, reshaping how it's perceived nationally and regionally. Zillow put Buffalo at the top of its hottest housing markets list in 2024 and now in 2025. The highest local home deal of the year is 50 Tudor Place, Buffalo, which sold in March for $3.5 million. The historic mansion also holds the record for most expensive residential sale in the city of Buffalo. In addition, the county tallied 7 more home transactions of $2 million or above. The strength of the local home market can be broken down in many ways. However, from total of house deals of $1 million or above to the sold listings with highest prices per square footage. Looking at the most expensive homes by price per square foot, I'll read that again. Looking at the most expensive homes by price per square footage, it tells an even sharper story of value concentration. The median listing home price per square footage is $188, according to Realtor.com. 2 luxury residential deals in 2025 came in more than triple that price per square footage. 4,480 Transit Road in Orchard Park came in at $584 per square foot, and 9734 Foxglove Court in Clarence Center at $573 per square foot. 50 Tudor Place, the most expensive residential value of sale, of 2025, came in 14th in this category with a price per square footage of $403. As 2025 closes, Erie County's luxury real estate market stands as a testament to both regional growth and changing buyer expectations. Okay, that's the end of page 6. Now, oh boy, we're going into a long listing here now. Okay, I'm just trying to consider how to do this first. Okay, I'm going to look at a graph here first, where Erie County's $1 million homes sold. And it's a graph that says, Clarence leads the county in the sales of luxury homes between January 1st and November 30th of 2025. So that doesn't even include what might be sold in this month that we're in. So Clarence on this graph had $27 million homes sold. Buffalo had 18. Amherst had 17, and Orchard Park had 17. As we said, there was a tie. Now, Aurora had 3. Alma had 3. Grand Island had 2, as did East Aurora. And at last, Hamburg, Evans, and Eden each had $1 million home sold. Now, we're going to get into this in a little more detail, and I'm sorry, I'll try to keep it interesting, but 2025's most expensive residential sales re-ranked. 6 of the 2025 $1 million home sales did not have listings included in Erie County real property information data. All information comes from the county's real property data and multiple listing service information compiled by the Buffalo Niagara Association of Realtors. Okay, so this is going to get a little detailed. Okay, first we have, $584.35 million for 4480 Transit Road, Orchard Park. Okay, let me correct myself on that one. I was reading it incorrectly. Okay, the first number they're giving us is the cost per square footage. So that 4480 Transit Road, Orchard Park was at $584.35 per square foot. And it says, the 1,680,000 sale included a 2,875 square foot home and 2.2 acres. Next, at $572.60 square foot, we have 9734 Foxglove Court in Clarence. The 1,262,000 sale included a 2,204 square foot home and a .3 acres. Next, at $501.79 per square foot, we have 574 Willardshire Road, East Aurora. The 1,825,000 sale included a 3,637 square foot home and 29.6 acres. Okay, the next at $492.87 per square foot was at 5468 Waterleaf Drive in Clarence. The 1,140 sale included, the 1,140,000 sale included a 2,313 square foot home and 0.23 acres. Coming in at $486.64 per square foot, we have 176 River Mist Drive in Buffalo. The 1,275,000 sale included a 2,620 square foot home. At $486.17 per square foot, we have 104 Chapin Parkway in Buffalo. The 2,900,000 sale included a 5,965 square foot home. At $479.75 per square foot, we have 236 LeBrun Road in Amherst. The 2,500,000 sale included a 5,211 square foot home and 1.1 acres. Next, we have $467.69 for 751 East River Road in Grand Island. The 1,860,000 sale included a 3,977 square foot home and 7 acres. Next, at $459.77, we have 140 River Mist Drive in Buffalo. The $1,200,000 sale included a 2,610 square foot home. At $439.8 per square foot, we have 33 Lancaster Avenue in Buffalo. The 1,200,000 sale included a 2,733 square foot home. At $429.55 per square foot, we have 3,618 Eckerd Road in Eden. The $1.5 million sale included a 3,492 square foot home and 42.5 acres. Then coming in at $428.60 per square foot, we have 77 Middlesex Road in Buffalo. The $2,440,000 sale included a 5,693 square foot home and 0.56 acres. For $427.35 per square foot, we have Farmington Road in Amherst. The $1,250,000 sale included a 2,925 square foot home. At 50 Tudor Place in Buffalo, we have $402.53 per square foot. The $3.5 million sale included an 8,695 square foot home on 0.8 acres. On Birdsong Parkway in Orchard Park, number 74 to be exact, we have $397.32 per square foot. The $1,718,000 sale included a 4,324 square foot home, 1.06 acres. Next we go to Clarence, 5123 Rockledge Drive in Clarence, $396.42 per square foot. The $2,300,000 sale included a 5,800 square foot home on half an acre. Windsor Avenue in Buffalo, 378.8 square foot fee. The $1,290,000 sale included a 3,412 square foot home and 0.18 acres. Next we go out to Aurora, 99 Gypsy Lane, $366.77 per square foot. The $2,100,000 sale included a 5,862 square foot home and 9.5 acres. Next we have out in Amherst at $362.23 per square foot. We have 155 Briar Hill Road in Amherst. The $1,425,000 sale included a 3,934 square foot home and half an acre. Rice Street in Amherst, 188 Rice Street, has a $354.40 per square foot. The $1,127,000 sale included a 3,100 square foot home and little more than half an acre. Amherst, 40 Knollwood Lane, $351.68 per square foot. The $1.5 million sale included a 3,270 square foot home and 1.1 acres. Okay, now in the city of Buffalo at 91 Johnson Park, $339.96 per square foot. The $1,151,000 sale included a 3,386 square foot home with 0.1 acres. In Orchard Park at 51 Hillsborough Drive, $336.90 per square foot. The $1.5 million sale included a 4,482 square foot home and 1.1 acres. Then we have at $335.67 per square foot, 59 Wood Thrush Trail in Orchard Park. The $1,100,000 sale included a 3,277 square foot home and a 1.17 acre land deal. Okay, just wanted to tell you and remind you, as if you didn't know, we have announcement here. You're listening to a reading of articles and features from Buffalo Business First, on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. Okay, let's get back to this list of 2025's most expensive residential sales, re-ranked. So we go from Wood Thrush Trail in Orchard Park to Ojibwa Circle in Buffalo, $334.89 per square foot. This $1 million, $75,000 sale included a 3,210 square foot home. $327.97 per square foot. We have 1 Blue Heron Drive in Orchard Park. The $1,040,000 sale included a 3,171 square foot home, and that's on 3/4 of an acre. Next we go to Aurora, 1034 Sweet Road, $325.76 per square foot. The $1,075,000 sale included a 3,300 square foot home on 3.1 acres. Next we have 321.84 per square foot, and that's at 5754 Red Hawk Trail in Clarence. The $1,690,000 sale included 5,251 square foot home on half an acre. We go back to Orchard Park for 6 Wood Thrush Trail in Orchard Park. Square footage is $320.89 per square foot. The $1,135,000 sale included a 3,537 square foot home on a little more than half an acre. Next we fly to Lexirk Lane in Clarence at 5145. $320.69 per square foot. The $1 million, the $1,175,000 sale included a 3664 square foot home on 3/4 of an acre. Then we go back to Orchard Park, 317.17 square footage, 67 Birdsong Parkway, Orchard Park. The $1.5 million sale included a 3,320 square foot home on a little bit more than half an acre. So then we go to Clarence again, 313.05 per square foot, and that's at 4745 Shimmerville Road. The $1,075,000 sale included a 3,434 square foot home and a little bit more than 3¼ acres. Next we go to Ransom Road in Grand Island, $311.30 per square foot. The $1.5 million sale included a 3,389 square foot home. Next we have 1225 West Arnold Drive in Hamburg, $308.23 per square foot. The $1,600,000 sale included a 5,191 square foot home and 28.3 acres. Next we have Nottingham Terrace, and that's in the city of Buffalo, 79 Nottingham. The $1,200,000 sale included a 3,894 square foot home, each square foot selling for $308.17, and about 1/4 of an acre. And finally, in this portion of the list, we have $307.60 per square foot for Lakeston Court in Clarence, and that's at 9540 Lakeston Court. The $1,865,000 sale included a 6,063 square foot home, and that was literally on just about an acre. Okay, I wanted to get to that high-end market takes flight, which is the special report, year-end real estate, Hallmark article by Leon Bunny. And here's the main headline: high-end market takes flight. As Erie County sets another record for million-dollar home transactions in 2025, we return to a question we first asked in 2024. Where are all of these luxury home buyers coming from? The county had 92 residential sales of $1 million or more between January 1st and November 30th. About 6 out of every 10 of the buyers was local. The same ratio is found in our 2024 analysis. That means 25 high-end home buyers came from outside Western New York. Of the remaining buyers, 10 listed an attorney or bank's address, the sold home's address, or an LLC or trust address. New York State, excluding Western New York, contributed the most at 4, and Florida with 3, and Texas with 3, tied for second. Illinois, Pennsylvania, and North Carolina each contributed 2 home buyers, with 5 other states and 1 Canadian province making up the rest. Here's a look at where this year's out-of-town buyers left to make Buffalo Niagara their new homes. Big spenders came from Allen, Texas. Second, Bethesda, Maryland. Third, Bradford, PA. Fourth, Charlotte, North Carolina. Fifth, Chicago, Illinois. Sixth, Cooper City, Florida. 7, Cartersport, PA. 8, Dallas, Texas. 9, Flamington, New York. 10, Houston, Texas. 11, Huntington Station in New York. 12, Jersey City, New Jersey. 13, Lake Bluff, Illinois. 14, Miami, Florida. 15, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 16, Mississauga, Ontario. 17, North Haven, Connecticut. 18, North Venice, Florida. 19, Painted Post, New York. 20, Phoenix, Arizona. 21, Rochester, New York. 22, Stamford, Connecticut. 23, Tampa, Florida. 24, Troutman, North Carolina. And 25, Vienna, Virginia. So as you look at this grid, this map that they have here, as she said, so many came from the Northeast, from Chicago over to the Atlantic and in the northern half of our country. And then there was a smattering from those other areas I just mentioned. And of course, as we mentioned, there was one up in Mississauga as well. So the high-end market certainly has taken flight, and that's the end of pages 10 and 11. And now here's another one, an article called Luxury Housing Markets Throughout Western New York Match Erie's Growth. And there's a quote here from the president of the Chautauqua Cattaraugus Board of Realtors, Kelly Petrone. When you get into these niches, it's people that will pay what they need to, but I don't think it's competition-wise what it used to be. I think that has definitely calmed down. Okay, so we have Leon Bunny's article, Luxury Housing Markets Throughout Western New York Match Erie's Growth. Outlying counties set their own records for $1 million plus home sales. So Leon Bunny writes, Western New York counties outside of Buffalo, Niagara hit a new high this year for $1 million home sales. This is the third consecutive year that Allegheny, Cattaraugus, Chautauqua, Genesee, Orleans, and Wyoming counties have raised their bar for luxury residential transactions. So far this year, the 6 counties have had 23 home sales of $1 million or more, $1 million or more. That compares to 18 in 2024 and 13 in 2023. About a decade ago, the counties collectively had just $1 or $2 million residential deals a year. That's based on multiple listing service data compiled on November 20th by the Buffalo Niagara Association of Realtors. Additional sales, such as private transactions, which are common with luxury home purchases, may have occurred outside the MLS service. It's a sign that the region's increasingly hot high-end housing market is growing beyond just Erie County, which also set a record in 2025 for $1 million home sales. Business First tracks home deals of $1 million or more as a way to gauge where the local residential real estate market is hot. The metro area has been getting national attention for its residential market. Zillow put Buffalo at the top of its hottest housing markets list in 24 and 25. Buffalo topped the 25 list thanks to relative affordability and demand that outpaces supply, which drives competition. This year, all 23 of the $1 million home deals outside of Buffalo, Niagara have been in Cattaraugus or Chautauqua counties. Private sales mean that record-setting number is actually higher, according to Kelly Petrone, the president of the Chautauqua Cattaraugus Board of Realtors. And she says, I do think our markets here are different than even Buffalo, she said, close quote. The 2 counties have niche and pocketed luxury home markets centered around main attractions like the Chautauqua Institute and Ellicottville. In the latter, there has been a bit more new build activity. Overall, the high-end residential market offerings in Chautauqua and Cattaraugus counties haven't changed much. Neither have the regions themselves. It's a testament to the overall increase in home prices over the last several years, which many other markets have experienced. For luxury homes, it means properties that previously did not have price tags over $1 million now do. But there are also signs that the regional housing market has cooled down. Properties aren't getting as many offers as a few years ago. Inventory has ticked up a bit, and properties sit on the market for a week or longer. And so here's a quote from Petrone, too. When you get into those niches, it's people that will pay what they need to, but I don't think it's competition-wise what it used to be. I think that has definitely calmed down. And although no one knows for sure, national researchers are saying the housing market still will be booming in 2026. That's what they're saying, and that's what I'm hoping for, concludes Kelly Patron. So, my gosh, that's a look at some of the real growth market. And wow, and again, that was written by Lee and Bunny. And next we have Erie County's $1 Million Market. But before we get to that, I'd just like to remind you you're listening to a reading of articles and features from Buffalo Business First on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. Okay, so here we go. Now this is a graph. I'm not getting into very big specifics on this one, but ranked by number of transactions valued at $1 million or more between November of last year and October of this year. Okay, so Buffalo has 81, so they have the highest. Okay, Amherst has 53 of these $1 million transactions, $1 million or more. Clarence has 41. Orchard Park has 27 of these million-plus transactions. Cheektowaga has 14 of these transactions. The town of Tonawanda has 12. Hamburg has 11 million-plus transactions. Aurora has 7 of these $1 million transactions. Lancaster has 6 of these $1 million transactions, $1 million or more. West Seneca has 5. Lackawanna has 4. The city of Tonawanda has 4. Alma also ties with 4 million-plus transactions. Grand Island has $3 million plus transactions. And Eden, Newstead, Alden, and Evans each have $1 million or more transactions. And that's in these special reports. Okay, now trying to find this next graph for you because that's important too. Okay. Okay, next we have numbers again. Total value of high-end deals by municipality. Okay, so this is ranking by most combined dollars spent to between November 1st, 2024 and October 31st of 2025. Okay, and these are really impressive. Coming in first place is Amherst at $335 million. Buffalo comes in at $212 million. Clarence comes in at $163 million. Orchard Park, $122 million. Hamburg, $114 million. Lancaster, $96 million. Grand Island, $80 million. Aurora, $69 million. West Seneca, $49 million. Alma, $43 million. The town of Tonawanda, $30 million. Boston, $25 million. Cheektowaga, $24 million. Evans, $14 million. Marilla, $13 million. Alden, $12 million. Newstead, $12 million. Eden, $9 million. Wales, $6 million. Lackawanna, $5 million. Colden, $4 million. North Collins, $4 million. Concord, $4 million. Sardinia, $3 million. City of Tonawanda, $2 million. Brant, $1 million. And Collins, $940,000. So you can see the, if I may coin a phrase, the wealth is spread among any number of cities and municipalities around Western New York. And it certainly, to me, as a naive layman, shows some real vitality. Okay. Okay, now I will mention that each of the pages that I'm not reading in detail has each one of these transactions listed. So if you can get your hands on an issue, or you could look at the Buffalo Business First website. Again, there are hundreds of them, and I just want to get to this list here by Hassan Green because this is fairly interesting and I don't have that much time left. But it's the hotels and motels in Western Western New York. It's an old joke in my neighborhood. Listed by their number of rooms. So I'm just going to read them as quickly as I can because I don't have much time left. Seneca Niagara Resort, 604 rooms. Seneca Allegheny, 413. Hyatt Regency, 396. Sheraton Niagara Falls, 391. Buffalo Niagara Marriott, 356. The M Hotel on Walden in Cheektowaga, 301. Holiday Valley has 240 hotel rooms. Quality Hotel Suites on First Street in the Falls, 206. Buffalo Airport Hotel on Genesee Street, 205. They're tied with Buffalo Marriott on Main, 205. Doubletree Hilton in the Falls has 192. Holiday Inn in the Falls is 189. Wyndham Garden in the Falls is 188. Doubletree in Amherst, Doubletree by Hilton has 187. Embassy Suites on Delaware has 182. Salvatore's Garden Place has 166. Darien Lake Lodge, 162. Hilton Garden Inn at the airport, 158. Aloft Buffalo Airport has 153. Antheon Hotel has 150, and that's in Chautauqua. Doubletree Hilton in Jamestown, 147. Holiday Inn Express, 146. Crown Plaza in Niagara Falls, 141. Fairfield Inn Marriott on Genesee, 140. Tied with the Hampton Inn on Delaware, 140. The Courtyard Buffalo Airport is 139. Then we go to Hyatt Place on Main in Amherst, 137. Chautauqua Harbor has 135. Hampton Inn in Walden, 132. And Hyatt Place in Niagara Falls is 128. Clarion Hotel, 127. The Hilton Garden Inn in Lafayette Square, 124. Mosey Buffalo Williamsville Tapestry on Main in Williamsville, 120. Tied with Town Place Sales in Buffalo Airport, 120. 35th place is the Extended Stay Americana Suites, and that's in Amherst. They have 119. Motel 6 in Hamburg has 117. The Westin in Buffalo on Delaware, 115. Residence Inn at the Galleria has 113. Homewood Suites in Hilton Airport, 111. Aloft Downtown Buffalo, 110. Comfort Inn The Point, 110. Holiday Inn Express in Cheektowaga, 110. Wingate by Wyndham in the Falls, 110. Best Western, 109, and that's in Cheektowaga. Red Roof in Bowmansville, 109. Country Inn and Suites in West Seneca, 108. Courtyard by Marriott, 108. Peak and Peak Resort in Clymer, 108. Red Roof in Hamburg, 108. Red Roof Plus at the University in Amherst, 108. Spring Hill Suites, Buffalo Airport, 108. And Staybridge Suites, Buffalo Amherst on Sweet Home Road, 102. Oh my gosh, okay. And we'll just get into, oh boy, okay, the scorecard, public records. Bankruptcies, current week, none. Week prior, none. Judgments, 12. Week prior, 10. Okay. Liquor licenses, 29 issued the current week. Last week, 24. Mechanics liens, 1. Last week, none. New businesses, and this is great, 102. Last week it was 85, so they've gone up even more. New corporations, 17. Last week it was 12. And the residential real estate transactions, current week is 26. Last week it was 4. And state tax liens, 1. Last week it was none. So that's what I could try to do in this expanded edition of My gosh, Buffalo Business First. And again, you've been listening to readings from Buffalo Business First, the December 10th through 25th issue. We read from Buffalo Business First every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Your reader has been Fran McNamara. And I just wanted to mention this before I say my final goodbye. If you're listening to this publication online, you're probably using our website, a podcast player like Spotify or iTunes, a streaming service like Siro, or a smart speaker. Did you know we now have a dedicated app that can be downloaded to any mobile device? And now that's a mobile device, smartphone or tablet, and you can download it for free. App users can conveniently access our live stream and any episode from our podcasts, and it's easier than ever. So, to download the app, type NFRRS. Again, NFRRS. So that's acronym short for Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. So type NFRRS in the search window in the Apple App Store or in the Google Play Store. And remember, you can contact us anytime if you have any questions by calling 716-821-5555, extension 5. So, that's it for me. Again, your reader has been Fran McNamara. Thank you so much for listening, and may you enjoy your holidays.
Coming up next in the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service, we have Time Magazine. At 8 o'clock, we have the New York Times. And following that, at 9 o'clock, we have Discover Magazine. Stay with us for these readings and more throughout the day. Thank you for listening. following program is intended for listeners who are blind, have low vision,